another question that I wanted to ask you. I know I'm kind of throwing out a lot of stuff right now, but another question I wanted to ask you is, what was the process like for you where you had to sit down? And I guess since that content isn't really normally out there, but how did you sit down and figure out what it was exactly that you wanted from a partner? And the reason why I asked that is because I feel like a lot of guys that go into dating and everything and looking for girlfriends, future wives, you have like your basics, but I feel like not a lot of guys really know themselves well enough to know what it is exactly that they would require from a partner. And how did you figure that out?
Mm, yeah, God, for me, it was a lot of process of trial and error. Being in relationships, experiencing the pain of a lot of conflict in relationships, experience a lot of my own emotional turmoil in relationships, and then having to learn that, oh, these are not the traits that I'm looking for in a woman, right? Like a lot of guys, if you say to them, what do you want in a woman? They'll tell you what they want her to look like.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as I always say to guys is, so do you think a happy relationship is created by what two people look like? And they go, they say attraction's important. I said, yeah, it is important, but what someone looks like isn't about attraction. We think it's just about attraction, right? What someone looks like, but attraction is about who someone is as well. It's a large part of that. Like, I think research has been done. It's like over 70% of attraction is who someone is, their personality. So, okay, cool. You want her to look like X, Y, and Z. Cool. Who do you want her to be? What do you want her to stand for? And I think the thing is, when you start asking these questions, if you don't have an answer, it's because you don't know about those things for you. What's valuable to you in life? Is family valuable to you? Is adventure valuable to you? Is connection? There's a lot of values out there. But the question, and I did this with numerous coaches over the years, is you go, what do I put my time into in life? What do I put my time into? You can say, like with some of my coaching clients, I'm like, what did you do this week? And they reel off the things. And they start going, oh yeah, I met with some friends. And I'm like, okay, cool. What did you talk about with those friends? And they're like, oh, we talked about old times. And I'm like, okay. So are those friends people you really like? Or are they people you hang out with because you've known them for a long time? And they're like, oh, well, I guess, we don't talk about much. I've known them for a long time. I was like, so is that like a level of comfortability? Okay, cool. So comfortability is important to you. And you start pulling out the values based on what you're doing, right? That's the first start. So, maybe you like to go rafting. It's just popped into my head. So you like adventure, or maybe part of your rafting is going with a group of friends or meeting new people. So then that's maybe connection and, kinship and stuff like that, maybe brotherhood, even if it's a group of men. And then I say, what values do you want to have? What values do you want to have in your life? And someone might go, oh, I want to have ambition. I want to have focus. I want to be abundant. I want to be someone that holds people accountable and stuff like that, and go, okay, where do they show up in your life? Are those values in your life? And if they're not in your life, then okay, what do you need to do to start bringing those into your life? Because once we start looking at what our own values are, then we have a bit of a clearer idea what we want in someone else, right?
You can see it too whenever it's something that's more prevalent in how you live your life. You can definitely see, like, just to give you an example, let's say empathy is something that's important to you and something that you want in a partner, due to the fact that that's something that is on your radar, due to the fact that it's one of your core values. You're going to automatically see whenever you come across people that don't exercise empathy, and it kind of helps you to be able to filter through those women that you might come across. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, exactly that. And that's a really, really well put. So it's like, empathy is, I did some research for about 15, 25 guys a couple of years ago, guys in my community. And kindness, compassion, and empathy were the three things that men wanted the most, the men that I spoke to, right? So empathy, how can you spot someone who's empathetic? Well, maybe if you go on a date with someone and you go to a restaurant and they're rude to all the staff, then there's a lack of empathy, right? There's a lack of compassion there as well, and a lack of kindness, all wrapped up into one. But if you didn't know that was your value, you might just go, hey, yeah, she did that, but, I'm not too fussed about that. Oh, fair enough. That's just how she is, Whereas if that's a value for you, you'll be like, okay, that's a red flag for me, because that's a real big value of mine. For me, that's also for me. It's like, compassion, empathy, and then even, I don't know how to describe it. The word's not coming to me, but it's just like a thirst for understanding, wanting to know people is also, for me, a curiosity. Curiosity is a big value for me. I want to know who people are. So if I'm dating someone and they take no interest, they walk into maybe a restaurant they've never been to and take no interest in the place, or they're eating food from a culture that they've never been to, but they have no interest. They're not curious about the food, what's in it, or who cooked it, or where it's from, or what the country's like. For me, that's like, okay, because you're not curious about the world, you're not curious about life, and that's deeply important to me. Now, where a lot of men are is that they're kind of in this stage where they're just like, I just want someone who's hot and is no drama, for instance, right? It's a thing that come up a lot, no drama. Now, I understand that, right? No drama. But part of that wrapped up in that phrase of no drama is that as if you are completely independent of drama in your life. Like if you keep meeting people who have drama in their life, I guarantee you, either you like the drama because it makes you feel alive in some way, right? Or you have drama in your life, right? Like drama's never been really something that's come to me in my life, because equally I can deal with the drama occurs when we can't just have straight conversation and we can't just say how we feel, and that there's blow-ups and stuff like that. That's when drama kind of happens, right? So it's important to just be able to learn to be with our emotions and talk in that way, like mature adults.
Yeah, it all makes sense. And from what it sounds like to me, it seems as though one of the main things that's leading to a lot of guys maybe not getting those results that they want when it comes to dating is just because their identity isn't strong enough to get the results that they're looking for. They might say that something like this is important to them, but they might not exhibit that in their own life, or they just might not have sat down and done the inner work to even really develop a strong identity outside of maybe their muscles or the money that they make or something like that. Hence why they're having those problems. Would you agree?
Yeah. Because, back to masculinity tells us that our power is in our production, how much money you make, what you can do, and blah, 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 not who you are. So we leave out the inner work. We leave out learning about ourselves, developing ourselves, and caring about, like, why do I get angry when someone looks at me a certain way? We just say, oh, that's how it is. But actually that doesn't have to be that way. That's the work, why do I struggle to, show love, or why do I struggle to say what I need or what I really want, or ask for my needs to be met, things like that. It's like doing that inner work allows us to know ourselves better, so that when we are out dating and relating, we can connect better, but we can also understand people and where they're at and have compassion, because, you start to realize that everyone's on this journey of life, and we were raised by parents who didn't really know what they were doing. And we're also trying to muddle our way through not knowing what we're doing. And we won't be so quick to judge people, and we'll be softer with people. We'll be more open. And then, that really is something that I see that has to come in.